Your second act isn't just about starting over, it's about starting smarter. You've left what's predictable to follow your passion, and that mix of excitement and uncertainty is real. Welcome to Second Act Business Owner. I'm Lee Gray, and I'm here to make sure your leap of faith lands on solid ground. Each episode, I'm bringing you the real-world MBA training and structure you need to turn chaos into clarity. Stop building someone else's dream and start building a business that works for you. Let's get to work. Hello and welcome back to the Second Act Business Owner Podcast. I am so grateful that you're here today. We're going to talk about something that everyone loves, and I mean everyone loves, networking. Oh, you're not one of them that loves networking? That's okay. It's so important that I want to make an entire podcast about it, because if you're in your second act, or if you're thinking about your second act, networking is something you have to do. Now, trust me, it isn't something that even extroverts love to do. I consider myself an extrovert. I don't want to go to a networking event and throw myself at strangers and say, hey, you want to talk? No. I don't like to do that. You probably don't like to do that. So I'm going to give you some strategies and some tips today to get you through a networking situation, a networking opportunity. Let's look at it that way, because if you think about networking as opportunities, that's going to get you where you want to go in your second act. Here's what I want you to remember as we get started. Your business, your second act, is not going to flourish with emails, chats, and algorithms. It's going to flourish with connections, with real people. And the best way to do that is to see them in person and to go where they are. And that's basically called networking. It's really, really simple. I also want you to think that in your second act, you already have way more context than you can even imagine. Sit down and list 100 people that you know, and you know your dentist, you know your attorney, you know your neighbors, the HOA association, your kids' soccer team, your grandkids' soccer team, your volleyball team, whatever. All of these people are already in your network, and they don't even know about your second act. So you have a reason to talk to people at a networking event, even more so than others, because you need to let people know you've started something new, you have a second act, and it's exciting, and you want to tell them about it. So think about all the social capital that you already have and how you can leverage it. The other thing that's important to remember about networking, it's about relationships. It's not transactional. It's about how you meet people and how often you meet them and have some kind of a relationship starting thing with them. And I'm going to give you some tips here in a little bit on some questions that you can easily ask to help you understand where people are in their life or in their second act, and then how to bring up your own second act, which is going to be important. That's the reason, after all, that you're doing what you do. First thing that you don't want to do is show up with what I like to call commission breath. If you've ever been to a networking event when everyone's trying to sell you something, you're like, oh no, commission breath. They need to sell me something. No. We're not there to sell. We are there to meet people, to see if we can connect them with someone else. The idea around networking, even if they aren't a prospect for you or you're not a prospect for them, is to figure out, who do you both know, or who do you know that they need to know? Who can you introduce them to? Can you invite them to an event that you think might benefit them? Are you in a club even if it's pickleball? Hey, you play pickleball, so do I. We just started a new league on the south side of town. I'd love to have you come as my guest. It doesn't have to be about selling them something, and they don't even have to be your ideal target market, but you're just networking and building relationships. The other thing that's important in networking is reintroduce yourself. If you remember meeting someone, it's okay to say, hey, I'm Lee Gray. I host the podcast, The Second Act Business Owner. Remind me of your name and your business. If you don't remember theirs, you can say that. But people are so happy to have you repeat who you are and then have them say who they are again. It's just a simple appreciation, and people love it. Go ahead and practice this in the mirror if you have to, but it's really important to do this when you introduce yourself to people. And if you're in a networking environment and you're standing with a group of people or next to someone, you can say, so what brings you to this event? They'll tell you, oh, you haven't been here before, me either. It's my first time. Or, oh, you used to be on the board and now you're here supporting the event. Whatever it is, you can form some kind of connection with it, because that's something that it's not a scary thing for them to tell you, oh, I'm here in this organization, because they're happy to tell you that. And then you can tell them why you're here. If it's your first time, tell them that. And they'll likely help you meet with some other person and connect you with someone else. The second thing you want to ask them is, so what do you do? And they'll tell you, oh, I am an accountant, I'm an attorney, I'm a videographer, whatever it is. Oh, that's interesting. What's happening in your industry? So you can ask them what's happening in their industry without asking them a personal question, and they'll be happy to share that information with you. So that's a 3-step process. What brings you here? What do you do? And what's going on in your industry? And then they'll reciprocate and ask you the same thing. So you'll have the opportunity to talk and connect. And before you know it, you've made a relationship with someone. And then before you leave, you can say, would it be okay if I stayed in touch with you? Can I get your business card? If they don't have a business card, you can share your LinkedIn connection with them. But I'm going to give you a tip a little bit later, and that is, I'll give it to you now. You want to connect and stay connected with every single person that you meet. They need to go into a database so that when you launch your business, or when you have your open house, when your second act is rolling along and you're growing, you want to invite them or stay connected with them. So that's a really great way to end a conversation with someone at a networking event and move on to the next person and do and say the same things. Also, you may meet people who know you as your former self. And that's good because they know you and you already have a connection with them. But make sure you tell them, hey, I'm doing something new. I'm really excited about it. I am now hosting a podcast called The Second Act Business Owner. Tell them what you're doing and be excited about it. They'll always know the old you and remember you, so they've got to get to know the new you and show them the excitement that you have in your second act. Also, consistency in networking beats charisma every single time. So being there at the networking events, talking to people more than once is A-okay at that consistency, and then following up with them and saying you're going to keep in touch with them. Send out an email saying, hey, it was great talking to you again. By the way, I said I was going to introduce you to my videographer, my accountant, whatever, and send them that information. You know, the thing about networking is, too, you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You just have to be the most consistent person. The most consistent person walking around, introducing yourself, asking those 3 questions, shaking their hand and telling them it was nice to meet them. That's better than being some flashy whatever. They'll remember the consistency over time. So in networking, that's really more important. Showing up once to an event, trying to make an impact, is not nearly as impactful as joining and attending on a regular basis. And before you ask, would you like to get together for coffee? Ask them, is there anything that you can help them with? Is there anyone in this room that you could introduce them to that they haven't met? And if they don't know someone in the room that they haven't met that they can identify, you can say, you know what, here's someone I know. Let me introduce the 2 of you. People are so appreciative of that in a networking situation. So I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. This is my hairdresser, for example. I just want you guys to meet, hey, this is so-and-so's first time at this networking event, and I just want her to meet some people, and I think the 2 of you might have some connections. So literally walk them over to that person and introduce them, and that will go, that is such a sincere thing you can do in networking. That's networking. That's how networking is done. And when someone says, what brings you here, you can start your story by saying, you know what, I'm just starting a new business. I'm in my second act. I'm very excited about it. And I want to tell as many people as I can and meet as many people as I can. That'll, anyone is going to be inquisitive and ask, oh my gosh, tell me what's your second act? What are you doing? That's exciting. And how'd you get started in that? And I'm not going to underestimate the value of marketing, but I can tell you that 5 really good networking conversations is worth a lot of marketing. So you want to do way more networking, especially when you're starting your second act, than you do marketing. You got to do both, of course, but people meeting you and seeing you is the most important thing, and the thing that you can do that's going to get you the most return on your time and your investment. I suggest 5 networking events a week. I know that sounds like a lot, but believe me, you've got Rotary, Lions. You can make a church event be networking. You can go to a quilting thing. You can go to a hot rod show. Anything you can think of that gets you around people that you can ask those 3 questions. What brings you here? What do you do? And the third question is, what's going on in your industry? Those questions can be asked anywhere. Hey, you can even ask your dentist the next time you're in the chair. So networking can shorten your learning curve. What do I mean by that? You know, when we start our second act, we've done a lot of research. We've talked to a lot of people, and we're pretty sure we know where we need to be and where we need to spend our time. But eventually, through multiple networking events you think are maybe not the right ones for you, those may be the ones that end up being the people who connect you the most to people who are going to help you grow in your second act. So the learning curve is, maybe I think I should go to a certain kind of networking only to find out that's just a social network, which is fine to attend, but it may not be where you want to consistently spend networking time. So the learning curve is all around, are these my people? Are these the people who love and support what I do? And are these the people who are going to connect me and give me great referrals? Also, being around other business people and telling them, I'm just starting my business. Do you have any ideas for me? The people who have been there and done that, they're going to be great resources for you, and they want to help you. I am so excited to help business owners, and most people are very generous when it comes to giving you suggestions, giving you ideas. Hey, have you tried this? Hey, have you tried that? Let me make an introduction to you. You can avoid expensive mistakes by asking people who have been there and done that for their help, their ideas. You know, asking someone who hasn't done it before, I just don't recommend that. That's another reason why networking events are good, because people who are like-minded, business owners, people in their second act are going to be, and those are the people that you want to spend time with in your networking. The other thing that I cannot emphasize enough is it gets lonely. And when you have to get up, get dressed, put your business cards in your wallet or your purse, and go to an event, show up on time, and put your best self out there, that gives you energy. That gives you momentum. And momentum of being a keyboard warrior is not going to get you where you want to be in your second act. It takes people, it takes interactions, it takes doing things that might not be comfortable in the beginning, but just follow the steps that I've given you. And when you're at a networking event, just remember those 3 simple things. Hey, what brings you here? What do you do? What's going on in your industry? Well, would it be okay if I share with you, I'm starting a second act and I'm very excited and I would love to get your thoughts on it. That's what's going to get you momentum. Get out of your house and get out of your house or your office every single day. When things get hard, and they will, your network, the people who are working on their business like you're working on your business, they're the ones that are going to lift you up and keep you going. So form that network early, stay with that network, and keep growing your network. So in networking, you're going to network often. You're going to follow up with some kind of an email or a thank you, or better yet, set up a coffee meeting with someone you've just met. 5 networking events, 3 coffee meetings a week. That's perfect. That's a great goal for you to have. Networking is your friend. Learn to love it. Well, today's been a good conversation, hasn't it, about networking? There's a lot to it. It's scientific, and yet all we really have to do is get up and be intentional and do it. And I'll tell you what I feel like expressing after talking about networking today. After talking about networking today with you, I feel like I probably could actually do some more networking. There's always more. And we do need to revisit the networking that we're currently doing. And as you grow your business, you may need to change the networking that you're doing. You may need to grow it, join a country club or something that you hadn't thought about doing before. So what I feel like expressing is networking is something I want to do, something I need to do, and something I'm going to do more of. What do you feel like expressing?
This show is part of the ICT Podcast Network. For more information, visit ictpod.net.